Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing Hell or High Water. Just got done watching it. I have seen this one before, but I didn't recognize it from the name on Hulu, so I thought I hadn't seen it, but I have. Do your typical thing. I'll give you the overview as written by the producers, or Google at least, and then I will give you my grade, and then after that, if you're, or some overall impressions, other ratings, systems, and after that, so I'm all over the place. My life is fucked. I told you, every 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, something big happens, and sure enough it did. But regardless, we're gonna get through some more content today. So I'll give you my overall impressions and grade. After that, if you've not seen the movie and would like to, based or not based on my recommendation, you're gonna want to shut off the video because there will be spoiler alerts. So yeah, Toby is a divorced father who's trying to make a better life for his son. His brother Tanner is an ex-convict with a short temper and a loose trigger finger. Together they plan a series of heists against the bank that's about to foreclose on their family ranch. Standing in their way is Marcus, a Texas Ranger who's only weeks away from retirement. As the siblings plot their final robbery, they must also prepare for a showdown with a crafty lawman who's not ready to ride off into the sunset. Got 88% liked it on Google, 88% on Metacritic, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Again, another standard cops and robbers, literally, type of movie. But I thought the tone was really good. I thought it was serious. I thought the characterizations were strong. Toby Howard is played by Chris Pine. The Marcus Hamilton, I'm pretty sure was the dude who was ever played the old man, the show that I didn't like, Jeff Bridges. And then Gil Birmingham plays Alberto Parker, and I recognized him from Yellowstone. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, the tone was good, the characterizations were good, nothing super unique. The plot was decent. Like there was a little extra something to, again, like why they're robbing the banks. Nothing super novel or anything, but a good action movie, good characterizations, and a solid tone. So I'll give it a B+, thoroughly in the entertaining range. And again, might have been higher if I hadn't seen it already. But trying to go off based off the first impressions of me watching the movie for the first time as opposed to just rewatching it. So if you have not seen it and like to watch it based on that, you're going to want to shut off the video now. So you open up, I think, yeah, the first opening scenes is them robbing a bank. So they rob some old, or not an old chick, but they're like robbing like smaller banks, and they're just getting, you know, any 5s, 10s, and 20s loose cash, so they don't have any die packs explode on the money. And so they hit one bank, they rob that, and then they go hit another bank. At that bank, they Tanner is the loose trigger finger guy, the older brother that's, you know, a little more reckless. Toby's planned all these robberies, and he like leaves a gun, like one of the patrons, one of the bank customers has a gun, and he leaves it like right on the counter as they're robbing it, and so when they're running away, they get shot at. So the opening scenes is them robbing 2 or 3 banks. They go to a diner, and Jenny Ann, who was another actress I recognize, I forget her name, but she's their waitress, and so they eat their lunch, and then pretty much out of nowhere, Tanner just gets up out of the diner and goes, like he's this loose trigger finger guy, and just goes across the street and robs another bank, while Toby's not even aware of what's going on. And so he's just running across the street with all of this money, and then you have the Marcus Hamilton and Alberto pull up to the spot to try to figure out, you know, what's the motive, what's going on. And so they interview the bank teller, they interview Jenny Ann. They left a $200 tip for Jenny Ann, so Marcus wants to, you know, look at the bills for, you know, see if he can connect them to a bank or something. And Jenny Ann won't give him the money because it was $200 and she has a mortgage. So that's what happens there. And they get the kind of characterizations where it's like, I don't know if it comes from the police side or from Toby and Tanner, but you learn that Toby is trying to raise enough money to have, basically, his mother has passed away, and he has this ranch that has like back taxes and a reverse mortgage, which I'm not really sure what a reverse mortgage is. But just debt to a bank, and if he doesn't get this money by this day, then the bank will foreclose on the house and take it. Like it's got a good oil drilling, good wells there, and so they have to raise $40,000 before like in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and basically the land that's in Texas is like in this oil drill, so they have to steal $40,000, and then as long as they can keep the property, the oil will make them $50,000 a month. And so the novelty comes kind of towards the end. We'll get there. That's really what they're trying to do. And so they go. They're washing they go to a casino to launder the money. Toby gets approached by what Tanner thinks is just like a prostitute trying to play Toby. Tanner bangs the waitress or the check-in person at the hotel or at the casino, while Toby's like just chilling on the bed like next to them, like in a hotel room with like two queen-size beds right next to each other. So that was good. But then, sorry, I'm just all over the place. My life is fucking disgusting. My life is just fucking disgusting. And it's never gonna stop. I'll never get better. Regardless, let's get through the content. So they decide they need, because they're robbing these smaller banks where it's like there's not a lot of people, so it's an easy robbery. And so they go to this bank and it's closed, and so they need this money by this day, so they have to go to a bigger bank. So they go to a bigger bank, and right when they walk in, they can realize this is more than they signed up for. There's people everywhere, armed guards. And so Tanner takes over the control of the situation. Everybody down on the floor. And there's, I don't know, 40 people in the bank. And so there's a security guard that they don't really see. He comes out of the back, as well as one of the patrons has a gun, and a girl texts her dad saying, the bank's being robbed. And so they get some money, and then the security guard starts shooting, and Tanner kills the security guard. Then the patron starts shooting, and then Tanner kills him. And then there's a big gunfight outside because all the patrons are the locals are coming to stop them. And big gunfire, and they get away. They have this like an old beat up car with like a truck bed. And so Toby jumps in the back, Tanner drives, and in the big gunfire scene, Toby gets hit. And so he's hit, doesn't really play a major role, but he's shot. And then they like swap out cars because now they got the police force after him, the locals are tailing them. And Tanner just basically, like they have two cars, and so it's not really clear. I guess another reason, one of the characterizations part that was kind of strange to me is like it wasn't developed as to why Tanner's just, he's a loose fit trigger finger, but why is he just ready? He did some time in jail, but why is he just like going out guns a-blazing? It's not like really clear as to like why he's willing to take the fall necessarily. Because after they rob this final bank and they get the money that they need, and there's some other minor scenes they have the Debbie ex is Toby's ex. He has a conversation with his son, like, don't be like me. But he's doing this to set up his family. Elise, I believe, is their sister as well. But there's a minor scene with her where Toby's like, mom's dead or whatever, and she's like, good riddance. But I think that's their sister. Not exactly sure. But regardless. So after they rob this big bank, when they have all these people chasing them and they have enough money, Toby's been hit. Tanner basically, they have two cars. Tanner just basically decides to, they're showing him one car at this point, but he pulls out a big machine gun and just starts spraying everybody, the locals, and the locals retreat. And so after that, they switch out cars, and Toby and Tanner kind of say goodbye to each other, and then Tanner just shoots it out with the police, and Toby drives away. Toby goes through his checkpoint, and he's shot. And so, there's a police checkpoint for looking for the robbers, but he gets past that fine. And Tanner goes up on this hill and starts firing back and forth with police and locals. And so again, Marcus and Alberto's relationship, again, Marcus is about to retire. Alberto's, again, half Mexican, half Native American. Marcus is very playful or joking with him. They're sitting, literally they sit out and wait to just try to like sit at a bank to see if they're going to come rob them, and then they like calculate which bank's probably going to go to, and as they're driving there, that's when they get the call that they hit that bank that's bigger, what we just talked about. So now Tanner's up on the hill firing at them. Marcus and Alberto are behind a car, and Alberto gets hit. So he's dead, and again, the whole time they're talking about Marcus's retirement, and now Alberto's the one that gets whacked. And so he's dead, big firefight. Marcus has one of the locals drive him up on the ridge, and he takes out Tanner. So Tanner gets killed, and then it doesn't give you a flash forward scene, but you can tell some time has passed, like a couple weeks or a month or whatever. And At this point, Marcus is now retired, and he basically, you know, still thinks Toby is a suspect, but the police department doesn't think he's a suspect. He has no criminal record. And then the interesting part is that the banks that they rob is the ones where they set up the trust for the kid. So I guess that was kind of novel, or at least interesting plot development. And so Marcus approaches Toby at his house. What it really is in his house, he has taken the land, again, saved it for his kids to generate this money, and he's given it to his ex, Debbie. So Debbie, his ex, and his 2 sons live there, and he's just working on the house, and Marcus comes and approaches him. They have a stern interaction. You know, they're both ready to shoot each other, and kind of just like Toby's like, you know, you're trespassing, and Marcus is like, you know, I know what you did. And so they have some tense interactions, and then the ex and the kids come home, and then they just kind of go their separate ways. And so also, I guess one scene before this, Toby's in the casino laundering the final bit of money when he sees Tanner, you know, getting shot on the evening news. And so after the tense interaction between Toby and Marcus, it's pretty much just like, you know, there's nothing Marcus can really do, and Toby doesn't like deny it, but he also doesn't like admit it, obviously, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. So again, Cops and Robbers, I thought it was a little novel, just again depositing the bank money that you robbed at the same bank, as well as the just, you know, the having oil drills worth $50,000, which is something kind of different, but still Cops and Robbers. Thought the tone was well done, and the characterizations were strong. Especially because, again, I'm pretty sure the Marcus Hamilton character was whoever played the Old Man series, and I did not like that at all. And so I thought he was better in this one. Still some slow conversations, I guess, or slow dialogue points, but overall very entertaining. So that's what I thought of Hell or High Water, and hope you watch it, and I'll see you on the next one.